The Steelers' 2023 season is nearly here, and on today's show, I'm going to give you my official 2023 record prediction for the black and gold. I think it's pretty darn bold, so we'll see where we go with this. But before we get into today's show, if you want to join us for Week 1 versus the San Francisco 49ers and our watch party, go ahead right now and subscribe to the channel. We do watch parties every week. We have a Steelers Talk live show every single Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern. And then we've got free and daily Steelers news and rumors content for free here on the channel. So if you want the most comprehensive Steelers content here on YouTube, click that subscribe button. And another incentive to join us on Sunday is that we're going to be doing a Joey Porter Jr. jersey raffle on that show. Some lucky Steelers fan is going to walk away with a brand new Joey Porter Jr. jersey. So if you want to enter the raffle, make sure you click that subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter at Jack_Sperry and tune in on Sunday for your chance to win. Now, let's get into this schedule prediction, record prediction. Starting with this Week 1 matchup versus the San Francisco 49ers. And listen, this is going to be a highly contested matchup here in Week 1 at Acrisure Stadium. The Niners have been to a bunch of NFC Championship games over the course of how many years at this point under Kyle Shanahan. Brock Purdy scored over 30 points per game when he was quarterbacking the 49ers last year. 7-0 when he was the leading passer for the 49ers last year. It's going to be a tough battle, all right? But this is going to be the game where Kenny Pickett and Brock Purdy figure out which quarterback is better. And I think it could absolutely be Kenny Pickett. I'm going to give you my prediction for this game here in just a second. But make sure you check out our preview video that we did earlier this week where I break down the whole shebang, what the 49ers run schematically, what they're going to be doing here on Sunday, Nick Bosa and the potential impact he could have here after signing that massive extension on Wednesday. Make sure you check out that video to get yourselves ready for Sunday, and then make sure you check out the watch party on Sunday where we're going to be partying it up. And for that Week 1 game, I have the Steelers coming away with the W over the San Francisco 49ers. My official score prediction is 27-23, and I think they kick off the season here with a W in a game that really does feel like the Steelers really can't lose. Now, who you got in that one? Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. Pittsburgh Steelers or San Francisco 49ers. Type PIT down there in the chat if you think the Steelers win, or if you think the 49ers win, type SF. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. So whenever YouTube throws you an ad break here, it's going to happen in just a couple of seconds. Take advantage of that time by answering today's pinned question. Then in Week 2, Monday Night Football against the dreaded Cleveland Clowns. That's right, I said clowns because what a joke of an organization, man. I do think it's going to be kind of a hotly contested matchup. These teams know each other well. The Cleveland defense is really good this year. They got a really solid roster. It's going to be interesting to see if Deshaun Watson really lives up to the hype here, but I think at home, in that kind of environment, coming off a big win against the 49ers, I think Mike Tomlin is going to have his guys ready to go, and they come away with 2 victories at home to kick off the 2023 campaign. Then you get to Week 3 against the Las Vegas Raiders on Sunday Night Football, and there we go. 3 straight wins to kick off the 2023 campaign. I think the Raiders are one of the worst teams in the National Football League this year. I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to fit well in Josh McDaniels' system this year. I think the defense is god-awful when it comes to overall talent. And I think in a loaded AFC, they're going to be left behind, and they're going to be drafting in the top 5 of the draft next year. I don't care if it's on the road. I don't care if it's the first home game for the Raiders of the season. I think the Steelers win that one. Then you go on the road to Houston, and where you're going to be facing Kenyon Green, who's going to be probably starting against Cam Hayward. I think Hayward has like 3 sacks in that game. It's going to be an easy victory there in Week 4, in my opinion. Mike Tomlin usually does a good job of avoiding these trap kind of games, so I think that they get the win here. And then a tough game against the Ravens here, but I don't think Lamar Jackson usually plays well against the Steelers, particularly on the road. So I think 5 straight wins for the Pittsburgh Steelers to kick us off, and the hype train is officially rolling for your Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, we have a little bit of a break here. We have a bye week here in Week 6. Would have rather had the bye week come later in the season to kind of rest up your guys for a potential playoff push, but it is what it is. Some teams got to have the Week 6 bye, and that's where we take a break here. And while this season is taking a break here on the schedule, still to come here on Steelers Talk, I'm going to be discussing whether or not the Steelers are going to win the AFC North and give you my prediction here for for 2023. You're going to want to stick around for that. But first, go ahead and check out our friends at BetUS. And go chatsports.com/bet and use promo code Steelers125 to get a 125% deposit bonus when you deposit $100 to $600 on their app. Now, what does that mean, deposit bonus? That means if you put in $100 to $600 on their app or on their website, they're going to give you 125% of that money back to you to use on your bet. So $225 total, and it only goes up with the more that you spend. Take a look at the betting odds here. The Steelers are not the favorites in this one. The 49ers are favorites, 2-point favorites, and then 41.5 is the total over-under. I'm going to be putting the over on that. My official score prediction is 27-23. You can take that with a grain of salt. You can take that if you want, but I think that this is going to be a pretty high-scoring affair here towards the end of the fourth quarter. Then we get to week 7 here where you travel to SoFi Stadium and the Los Angeles Rams. I think that's a pretty darn easy win. The Rams roster is completely depleted right now. I don't care if you're on the road. I think that's a good win for the Steelers. Then you get Jacksonville at home, and Jacksonville probably going to be a playoff team this year, but I have the Steelers winning. I think that the offensive line in Jacksonville is not very good right now, and I think this defensive line and this pass rush is going to take advantage of that and put pressure on Trevor Lawrence all day long, and they come away with a nice defensive effort there in week 8 to keep the winning streak alive at 7. And then on Thursday Night Football, another victory here against another bad offensive line in Tennessee. I think Ryan Tannehill is going to be fighting for his life in that one. I think that's really going to be the game where the Steelers put people on notice, and they're like, holy crap, the Steelers are 8-0 right now after week 9? Oh my gosh, this team is a Super Bowl contender. That's going to be a real linchpin in the season, in my opinion. Then you go to Green Bay, and the streak continues. Another win for the Steelers here. 10 straight wins. That's right. That is my prediction for the Pittsburgh Steelers here. Now, there's some games here that they could lose, I guess. Jacksonville is a decent team. Baltimore is always a pretty darn good team. Cleveland, it's a divisional game. But overall, San Francisco this week even. But overall, I still think the Steelers have the advantage in all of these games. And I think they're going to win 9 straight here to start the season. And then you get to week 11 and you finally take your first loss on the road to a divisional opponent. I think Nick Chubb in that run game is going to be really good this year. That defense is going to be really good. Deshaun Watson, not great. I'll tell you what I think about the Browns here later on in today's show, but I do think the Steelers take their first loss on the road to the Cleveland Browns here in week 11. Now, before I reveal the rest of this schedule, we're getting into the home stretch here, getting towards the playoff run here. So make sure you like that video if you're feeling generous and you want to help us out here at Steelers Talk. Really do appreciate all the support. Now we get to the next one here, week 12 at Cincinnati after taking a loss to the Browns. Unfortunately, I have another loss here to the Bengals. I think the Bengals have a really good football team, arguably the best team in the AFC this year. And I think on the road, that's just going to be a tough one to get. I have them losing that one. Then you get a little bit of a softball here against the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray should be back by that point in the season, but I don't think it's going to matter. I think he's going to be fighting for his life, running for his life all day long. I think that's probably going to be an easy victory for the Steelers. Then you get back to Thursday Night Football against Bill Belichick, who eats young quarterbacks alive in this league, man. And I think that's going to be the case with Kenny Pickett. I think this will probably be Kenny Pickett's worst game of the season going up against Bill Belichick. Even though it's at home in prime time, I still think Bill gets the best of him here and the third loss of the season for the Steelers. Then against the Colts, another pretty easy one. I have the Colts ranked as dead last in the National Football League in terms of overall team talent. In the National Football League, I have the Cardinals just above them because of the quarterback, Kyler Murray. And Indianapolis, they've got pretty much nothing, right? They've got nothing anywhere, really. DeForest Buckner's a good player. They got a couple decent weapons, I guess, but they're going to be losing Jonathan Taylor. Rookie quarterback and Anthony Richardson has a lot of growing to do. Pretty easy win there for the Steelers as well. Now we got 3 more games here before I give you my official 2023 record prediction. But first, predict it in the comments section. What will be the Steelers' divisional record this year among teams in the AFC North? You got 6 games, 2 apiece against the Bengals, Browns, and Ravens. What do you think that record looks like here heading into 2023? All right, now we get to week 16 at home versus the Bengals, and I think they split against Joe Burrow and Zach Taylor and company, and they get this W. Big-time statement victory just before the playoffs. Kenny Pickett and the Steelers really get a lot of confidence by getting this win at Acrisure Stadium late in the season. But then you go to Seattle on the road, very hostile environment. You're coming off of a week where spirits are high. You probably put in all of your blood, sweat, and tears into that game against Cincinnati. And I think the Seattle Seahawks, who are going to have a really explosive passing game this year, led by Geno Smith, Jackson Smith and Jigba, DK Metcalf, and Tyler Lockett. That's going to be a dangerous trio right there, by the way. I think that's a loss. And then if the season is on the line at Baltimore, I trust Kenny Pickett to come away with the victory here. I think they win that one. I think they sweep the Ravens this year to finish in the division 4-2. I think that's a very respectable record, especially in the AFC North. And after all this, after a 9-game winning streak to start the season, I have the Steelers finishing 13-4. I think that this is pretty manageable. You look at the record, the away games, you're facing teams like the Rams. You're facing teams like the Colts. I mean, these are winnable games that the Steelers have on their record. And then some of these kind of linchpin games, Cleveland, these divisional games, Patriots, all these different games that you have. Jacksonville, I think that the matchups favor the Steelers nicely in those games. So I think the range for the Pittsburgh Steelers this year, the ceiling is 13-4, 14-3, somewhere in that range. So I'm projecting them to get towards their ceiling. All right, I'm a Steelers fan. Forgive me for being optimistic, all right? But then the floor is going to be 9-8. I just don't see Mike Tomlin with this much talent on his roster getting below 500. I just don't see it happening. I think that the Steelers are going to surprise a lot of people here in 2023. And right now, I'm just hoping these boys don't let me down, man. I've been covering this team, the way Omar Khan has been building this roster since the start of the 2023 offseason. And, man, I've been impressed. I think this team is ready to roll. I think the preseason went really, really well. I think Matt Canada and Kenny Pickett are going to get their stuff together. I think the defense is going to be elite. And right now, I'm just really, really hoping that I'm not being a homer here, and I really hope they don't let me down. Now, my official AFC North projection here, this is what I have as the records for all 4 teams in this division. I think the Steelers win the division this year at 13-4. The Bengals make the playoffs as a wild card at 12-5. Baltimore Ravens get to 10-7. And they'll be right on the playoff picture there. And then same thing with Cleveland. They'll be in the hunt. I think they'll get better as the season moves on. But I think Deshaun Watson will struggle a little bit early on in this season. And they'll finish up at 9-8. Now it's prediction time. Down there in the comments, give us your Steelers record prediction. And then let us know if you think they're going to win the AFC North. Do you agree with me? Do you heavily disagree with me? Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. You think I'm being a homer? You think I'm being a fanboy? Let me know down there in the comments. I want to see what you guys have to say going into this 2023 season. All right, man, that'll be it for today's show. Make sure you click that subscribe button for Steelers content just like this, 100% free every single day here on YouTube. We got our watch parties every single week. If you want a place to kick it with your fellow Yinzers this year, we try to be your one-stop shop for everything Pittsburgh Steelers here on YouTube. So if you want to join our family today, we'd really appreciate you if you click that subscribe button.